Welcome to More Than a Few Words, marketing conversation for business owners. This is your host, Lorraine Ball. And by now, you've probably kicked the tires on ChatGPT, had it write a couple of social shares, and maybe even a blog post. But I have to tell you, that is just scratching the surface of what you can do with ChatGPT. And so we're going to dive into other things you can do with this helpful tool. And to help me have that conversation, I've invited Stephen Lewis to join me. Stephen runs a Sydney-based marketing agency, Tailist. They specialize in direct response copywriting, and the agency has been using copywriting tools ever since February of 2021. They've developed techniques to use AI to research topics and audience and write copy that can be as close to 80% done right out of the gate. Stephen, we want to know more.
Thank you. Well, I'm delighted to tell you as much as you would like to know.
Well, I am so glad you're here, and I'm so happy to kind of dive into this whole conversation. So let's take it from the perspective of I got the basics. I know how to get to ChatGPT, and I know how to ask it to write something. But what else should I be asking it to do?
Well, what you need to know is how ChatGPT knows anything in the first place, and that's how it's trained. And because ChatGPT, to be able to write like a human, it had to read a lot of human writing. And I think a lot of people know that and they understand, okay, because there have been lawsuits and so on about why did you feed my book to ChatGPT, that kind of thing. So ChatGPT has read trillions of words. What I think a lot of people don't appreciate is that it didn't just read those words to learn how to write. It understands what those words said. So ChatGPT is actually this extraordinary research tool. So if you want to know what single mothers in Denmark think about nutrition, ChatGPT's read 1,000 blog posts about that. It's written books written to that audience. It's written forum posts by mothers talking about that. So ChatGPT actually, even if you never got it to write a social share for you ever, and you only used it as a research tool, it's a brilliant way to understand your customers in a way that even if you sat down and interviewed them, the research proves you wouldn't get the same quality of answer as you would get from ChatGPT.
That, in a way, it sounds funny, but I know that I teach marketing and I teach a little bit of marketing research, and people don't mean to lie, but I always tell my students, but they do, because they're trying to present who they are in the best light. And ChatGPT doesn't have that bias. So can you give me a couple of sample questions, perhaps, that I could use if I'm targeting 20-year-old, 20 to 25-year-old young women with about a product? What might I ask ChatGPT about that audience that could help narrow it for me?
You could ask, for instance, the simplest question. So if you describe that audience exactly as you've described it to me, type that into ChatGPT and said, my product is, I'm thinking about my own children, a new lip gloss. Why might they want to buy a lip gloss? Why might they not want to buy a lip gloss? And you can interrogate that information, because you'll probably get some stuff that you've already thought of. Because I don't understand lip gloss, so I don't know why I've chosen this as an idea. Because my daughter's 11, she has, I'm not kidding you, 20 lip glosses. I'm like, she's only got the usual 2 lips, so I don't understand. But she has all these things. And she has reasons for buying them that are not, I want my lips to be glossy. They are, I saw it on YouTube, the cool kids are wearing them. And as you say, there are things that the real young person isn't going to tell you. Like nobody you know who drives a Mercedes is going to say, I wanted everyone to know that I'm really successful. They're going to say it holds the road better. The warranty is magnificent. German engineering is so precise. they're going to tell you, nobody's going to say, I wanted my neighbors to think that I'm more successful than they are, or at least as successful. ChatGPT will tell you that. So you can get into that by asking, what are the reasons you would buy this product that you wouldn't admit to your friends? What's the most embarrassing reason you buy the product? You could also ask, why wouldn't you buy it?
Cool.
And get down to objections.
All right. So I've got these. Why would they buy? Why wouldn't they buy? How do I build on that? What else can I ask ChatGPT to think about, present to me, research that can move me through the content creation and sales funnel?
What you want to get to is, as you were saying earlier, these people want to put forward the best version of themselves, because we are all trying to be something that we're not. And that also means we fear being something else. So if you're a church-going person, you want to be a good person. You fear being seen as a bad person. And what being a good person means to you and what being a bad person means to you will be different from one group to another. So those are the sort of questions you might want to get into asking, like, who do you want to be seen as? I want to be a community leader. I want people to see me picking my kids up at school because I'm an involved parent. I don't want to be seen as the parent who's never at the football games. I don't want to be seen as the parent who's too controlling of their kids' ambitions. I don't want to be dance mum. I'm terrified of being. My daughter, again, the lip glossing 11-year-old, has just got into a dance troupe, a well-known dance troupe. So we're very aware we don't want to come across as dance parents, because we know that this dance troupe organizer must be dealing with a load of pretty crazy people. So we're doing everything we possibly can to signal we're easy, you can do business with us, just, etc. So that's our fear. I don't want to be seen as a dance mum. That's not the kind of thing that most people will tell you out loud, but it is the kind of thing that ChatGPT knows. And so what you are doing is building that picture. And then what you want to do is bring all of that together into a customer persona that you'd be using for everything. So a lot of what I teach people is how to turn ChatGPT into a consultant. So the mode that most people have is, there's a little prompt window in ChatGPT, and I type, please write a LinkedIn post about lip gloss, whatever it might be. What you want to do, what you're missing with that, is the ability that ChatGPT has to ask you questions. Like, if you know how to run it properly, it can ask you questions. It can read your work and feedback and say, well, actually, why, have you said it this way? Or, this audience don't want to be seen as dance mums. Why don't you put in a little something about that? And those sorts of things. So it becomes a consultant rather than a copywriting assistant.
I love that. I love asking ChatGPT to ask you what's missing, or to tell you what's missing. What else should I ask? We did an experiment with a web design project where we fed the basic information, and then we went, we don't really know anything about this industry. How do we go into this meeting, into this conversation, and get the best answers from our customers? And it was really a valuable exercise.
Well, there's research from the University of Wisconsin. It's the most recent paper that I've read on it, which is, as I said earlier, that you get better so you can set up ChatGPT. If you know how, you can create this persona of your customer, and then you can interview that customer in exactly the way that a consumer researcher would say, okay, Stephen, we're looking for 53-year-old men who live in Sydney who drink tea. Would you come in and have a big interview with us about how you choose your tea and so on? You can do that with ChatGPT, and the research shows ChatGPT will give deeper answers, more honest answers, and more insightful answers that are comparable to what you would get from real people if they were willing to spend that kind of time with you and do that with you. It's called synthetic data because it's made up data, but it's made up data that pulls from a source. So to my mind, the hardest thing with ChatGPT for most users is knowing what questions to ask, because you're asking really good questions here about what should I put in ChatGPT.
Mhm.
And if you want ChatGPT to consult to you on your marketing, to come up with ideas, to come up with campaigns, to be persuasive, your job is to educate yourself on what you should be asking ChatGPT. Because if you go to ChatGPT thinking it's like Star Trek, and I just say, computer, I'm a small business in Texas and I want to sell more of my product, ChatGPT will say, sit back, relax, I'm going to give it all to you. It's a partnership, and you need to know how to work in partnership with the tool.
That's fabulous. Stephen, this is fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing some really cool ideas. I know I'm going to test some of them out with my audience.
What I can do is I can give you a link that you could put in your show notes. I have a tool that anybody can access where ChatGPT will solve what I call your biggest marketing problem. So, which is a big claim, right? So, come into my tent at the circus and I'm going to solve your biggest problem. But as a marketing person for 30 years, I have a view on what most businesses are doing 100% wrong because they're too close to their business, right? We're all busy. We're too close. We know how our product, anyway, it's what is wrong. But you go in and this thing that I built in ChatGPT, a bot, if you like, will ask you a couple of questions and then it will solve your biggest marketing problem. I call it the clarity engine. And it will show you more than it will solve your problem, which is wonderful, is it will show you what I'm talking about as ChatGPT consulting with you and working with you as a partner.
Awesome.
I can give you that link and perhaps you can put it in the show notes for people to try.
Fabulous. Well, I'm going to encourage everybody, if you are listening, if you are afraid of ChatGPT, if you've kicked the tires on ChatGPT, if you just want to get better at ChatGPT, grab that link, go ahead and give it a try. You'll be glad you did. Stephen, thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. And if you've enjoyed this conversation, if you'd like to find other resources for your business, hop over to More Than a Few Words. You'll find hundreds of conversations just like this, workbooks, webinars, white papers, and so much more. This has been another episode of More Than a Few Words. Thanks for listening.